Good morning, everyone. How are you? I hope you are doing well. Welcome back to my channel where I talk all about how I run my small Etsy jewelry business. And today we are talking live and I'm so excited. I have some Q&As to answer and I can't wait, but I have to tell you, I'm a little nervous. And so if I stumble over my words a little bit, please give me grace. I have got my husband over on this side over here watching comments, and he's going to help me answer any questions that you guys have live today. So I am so excited. And let me know if you guys are here and in the chat, in the comments. Give me your win for the week. So something this week that maybe inspired or excited or something good that happened for you. Go ahead and let me know your win for the week. My win for this week is being brave and going live and doing this right now. So it has been very nerve-wracking for me getting this all set up, and I'm not a tech guru, so it has been interesting. Oh gosh. Anyway, so let's go ahead and jump into some of the questions that I asked this over the course of the last couple of weeks. I've had some questions come in, and I also compiled a few of the things that I asked in my comments. As you guys know, I try to get back to every comment I can, and if one slips through the radar, it's really just because somehow it got lost in the shuffle, but I really every question. So let's go. Oh, hey, Carrie Ann, how you doing? I'm so glad you're here. Carrie Ann just launched a collection this week. So if you guys click on her, she has a YouTube channel as well. If you guys click on her YouTube channel, you'll be able to go check that out. And I'm sure she has links in her description. So I'm glad you are here. Okay, so the first question I got was about craft fairs and outdoor markets and any tips I had for that. Just so you guys know, I have notes here, okay? So I'm gonna refer to, if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. And I do have a few tips. Now, I'm not an expert. I've done 4 craft fairs, outdoor market kind of situations, maybe 5, maybe 4.5. One wasn't super big or official, but one of my very first tips is research that market, that craft fair, and look and see what the vendors and all of this stuff is going to be like. Hi, Paylin, did I say that right, Paylin? How you doing? Thank you for saying hi from Thailand. Oh, hi, Sherry. How are you? Canada. It's 4th of July here in the US. Does anybody else have a holiday this weekend in any other country? I don't know if you guys do or not, but oh, yay, Paylin, I said it right. Good. Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad you guys are here chatting with me. So I was just talking about craft fairs and outdoor market tips. And my first one is to check out the vendor booths, the environment that you're going to be in. It is definitely important to know what you're going to be needing to set up for. Hi, Lynn. Hey, guys, Lynn is actually my mother-in-law. So love you, Lynn. You're so sweet being on my live. Anyway, so check out your situation, your environment. Where are you going to be? What is it going to look like? Is it outside? Is it inside? Will you have power? Will you not have power? Most outdoor markets and fairs will have this information when you go to sign up. So just make sure to read it really carefully, okay? Oh, Dana. Hi, Dana. Oh, hi, TCY. How you doing? Oh, Canada Day on the 1st. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember. I've seen that over the last week, Canada Day. That has been your holiday. Cool. Do you guys do anything special for Canada Day? What do you guys do? For 4th of July, we do fireworks. So let me know what you guys do to celebrate Canada Day. Anyway, so my other piece of advice for a craft fair or a market is to set up a mock booth or table or whatever your setup will be according to that market, and place everything the way that you want to have it placed before. You want to set up a trial run, and this way you can see exactly how everybody is going to view it. Walk around your setup like you're a customer. See what you see. Try to get yourself into the mindset of, I'm a first-time buyer. I'm a first-time looker. What am I seeing? How am I feeling? Can I see everything? Is it too crowded? Is it not aesthetically pleasing enough or whatever it is, but take notes and then rearrange things so that maybe it is more suitable. When I first did mine, we did do a setup, and it was, even though we set it up ahead of time, it was still way too crowded. And we definitely did not make as many sales during that craft event because it was too crowded. So, oh, hey, Sarah Ann, how you doing? Oh, I hope you guys are having a good week. Okay, so my next piece of advice for an outdoor market craft fair is bring a support person. So if you've got, maybe you're doing jewelry and it's not a big deal, but even with me doing jewelry, I had a ton of setup. I had a ton of props, boxes, bins, everything, displays for my craft fair. And with that, I definitely needed help setting everything up, especially when you're in a mad rush to get it set up before the event starts. But also just like emotional support. I definitely needed emotional support. And my sister has always come to my events with me. She's really quite amazing and supports me no matter what. So I'm so thankful for that because I can take from her calm. She's not stressed. She's not overwhelmed by it. And I can take from her calm and be like, woo, okay. She can get me back down to, past the stress, past the overwhelm. Oh yeah. Support person is good for potty breaks. Sarah. Yes, you are so right. True that. And that is actually so true. This last event, I had to use my sister. We took turns going to the bathroom. And it was very helpful. Another thing is you really want to be aware of whether you're going to be inside or outside because you need to know your weather conditions. And for example, the last event that I did, I was supposed to be outside and I was the time before that. And the wind was fierce. Las Vegas, the wind is so strong and can blow things over so easily. And I had these displays and they were cardboard, but I had weighted them down with some marble. I think they're octagons, but marble so that they would be weighted, and it still wasn't enough. And we ended up having to pile rocks behind my display because the wind was so strong and it blew up the table skirts. But, honestly, it happens, but that's the last thing you want is to be caught in the middle of it with things blowing everywhere. So do your best to figure out whether you're outside or inside and what you can do to help prevent that kind of stuff, the wind or whatever weather conditions it's going to be. That one. And then, the other thing is expect the unexpected. What can we do other than be ready to be flexible, have a positive attitude? And that has so much impact on the people walking by as well, because they can sense it too. Like you think about it, you see somebody who's angry sitting in a corner and stressed out. Well, that's not really very approachable. So, and people know that. So it's so important customer service. I think in a handmade arena, we get a lot of customer service can be swept under the rug. Well, this is my art and I'm going to I don't need to do anything like retail services, but I've worked in retail so many times, but customer service is not only the most amazing life lesson to treat others with kindness, love, and respect, but it's great for your business. Because people get, like somebody said to me before, you get back what you give out. And that's the same truth at a craft fair. Be friendly. Ask people how their day is going. And you know what? You don't need to be embarrassed because you're just a human interested in other people and they're interested in what you've got too. Okay. So that is my craft fair tips. That was one of my outdoor market craft fair vendor tips question. On to the next question. Let me sip first. Okay. So my next question is, how did you get started? Do you have any advice for beginners? Or are there things you wish you would have known before you started? Now, the list could be very, very long, but I'm going to try to be brief so that I respect everybody's time. But one of the first things, I'll start with how I got started. It was a few years ago, and I started making gifts for friends, my husband's coworkers, family, and my kids' teachers. I started making gifts. I started out with bath salts. I started out with candles. I did a whole bunch of stuff, and I finally did jewelry for them. And that's the one that stuck. I really enjoyed it. I always have enjoyed jewelry. So that one like really kind of planted in me, and I was like, oh, I could do this. And before really deciding if I could do it or not, I did a mini craft fair with one of my very good friends and my sister, and it went amazing. I made product and people bought. I didn't anticipate that at all. And so that really lit the bug under me to keep going and really make a business out of it. So I started out slow and kind of gradually built up inventory and supplies and, printers and all the things that we need to run a business. But one of my pieces of advice, this kind of goes into my piece of advice, is first of all, disclaimer, I'm not an expert at all. I am still very much a learner, and I'm learning as I go. Just know that I am not an expert. I'm still learning. But one of my best pieces of advice is put in your head already that it's a long game. It doesn't happen overnight, and nor do I think it's meant to happen overnight. And I'm sure it does for some people, and that's awesome. But it is a long game. I thought when I first started that I would put up a couple listings and it would be boom, everybody would want them and it would be glorious and I'd just take off running, but it didn't happen that way. And in fact, if you guys have any tips for any of these questions, if you guys have any answers, put them in the comments. I'd love to hear your guys' tips and advice too. But it's okay for it to take a long time, and just know that it's going to be a gradual process. My next one is that I like, this is good for all of life, not just starting a business, is don't compare yourself. When you are at chapter 1 in your journey of a small business, don't compare yourself to somebody at chapter 35, because they have already flipped every page in between and taken every step to get there, but you're not there yet. And that's totally okay, because you are where you're meant to be, and your journey isn't going to look like theirs either. So don't compare yourself to other people. It is definitely something that will just freeze you and kind of create more fear or envy or jealousy. And that is just not fun to be around for yourself. And it's not going to create a good internal feeling around your business. So no comparing. Now, granted, I have to remind myself of this all the time. Dana, you love that advice. Dana's the one that gives me that advice too, by the way. Dana is my sister-in-law, and she is amazing, and I appreciate everything she does for me. Yes, yes, Carrie. Carrie, do you go by Carrie or Carrie Ann? I just want to make sure I'm saying your name properly too. Very true. Comparison destroys the dream and momentum for your business. Yes, it absolutely does. And you don't want that. You don't need that. You don't want that. It is great to be inspired by people and see where they're going, and that you can do something in your own way too. But it is not good when you start becoming envious or upset about it. So either Carrie or Carrie Ann. Okay, awesome. So my next piece of advice is research. If you have not yet made the decision to purchase all the supplies and do all the things, go ahead and wherever you're selling, whether it's Etsy or Shopify or Instagram, go do research and see what market is out there that you're interested in. I did start with jewelry before doing research, but I went on and I found a market for gift jewelry, like specifically for giving it to inspire, encourage, or love on other people. And I was like, oh, that's what I want to do. I found that market, and then I started to make it my own. Now, it's so important that you do make it your own. Ooh, Sarah Ann says, comparison and everything is my inner devil. Oh, me too, Sarah. You're not alone. I have to constantly tell myself over and over to not fall into that trap. And I use my support people in real life, IRL, as my teenagers would say it. Or do they not say that? I don't know. I say that. I don't know if it's cool to say that or not. Anyway, but I use my support people to remind me not to do that, because it's a battle for us all. I think it's natural to want to compare ourselves. It's just not a good, avenue to go down. But back along to the research lines of your business. So research your market, and then do not copy, because copying is not great. It's not good. You don't want to be a copier. It won't ever make you feel good, and people will call you out for it if you do. But see what they have, what they're doing, and make it your own. You can put an individual twist on it. When I started my jewelry business with the gifts, I tons of people have same kind of business, but I create my own graphic cards. I pick out my own jewelry and I made it my own, and I created my own packaging and all that stuff to make it individual, to make it my own. And it's okay to use an idea and stem off of that. That's how most great ideas are born. So don't feel bad about using an idea and making it your own, but certainly you do not want to copy. Okay, this next one I'm going to give you not advice on, but I don't really have great advice for this, but pricing. Never price your stuff too low. I started out pricing my stuff way too low, and it has been a nightmare trying to get the pricing up so that I make a good profit. Know that it is so important to price for the value of what you make homemade. It's very easy to fall into wanting to price for competition and put it just under what the competitors have or whatever. But that is going to you can't compete with everyone in price. You can only do it so much so that you have a profit. And you don't know how much costs they have that they can price it that low. Maybe they're not recouping enough profit to pay themselves. It's important to pay yourself, and it's important to price so that you can do that. And instead of being worried about having a higher price, see how you can add value to your products, to your customer service. And those things matter. If you think about it, I'm not calling out Brighton, and I love Brighton jewelry, and I always have enjoyed them, but they're very sentimental, but they're also very pricey for silver plated jewelry. They're not real sterling jewelry. They're not anything like that, but they created a brand where they have value and their name has value, so they can charge those prices. And I know it's different as a handmade small business, but with that idea in mind, just think about how you can add value to your product with your degree of customer service, your packaging, your branding, and your quality. Okay, my next one is to join a community. As a small business, starting up your business, you're going to need to answer a lot of questions. That's kind of what we have going on here and what I hope to keep building as well. But when you have all these questions and you don't know where to go, like YouTube is awesome, and you can find a lot of people on YouTube who also have communities where you can get advice from other small business owners. I myself have a support community. Number one, I have my sister-in-law, Dana, who she also runs a small business and a YouTube channel. So go check out her channel as well if you want to. She's amazing and inspiring. But we talk back and forth all the time about what we're doing in our businesses. And without that back and forth, I'm not sure I would have made the same kind of progress that I have made, because she encourages me to keep going. And along with her as my community, I also have joined other small business communities that have Discord servers, and you can go on there and type in a question, and you'll have not just the owner of the Discord service answer, but tons of other people running their small business answer. And I have joined there. These are via Patreon communities. One Patreon I have joined is Emily. If you know her, let me know in the comments if you know her. Is a huge Discord server that anybody and everybody can pop on in that community and give you advice on whatever problem you're facing. Aw, thank you, Dana. I'm so thankful for you too. Now with that, it's mostly about art and stickers and graphics. They have some other businesses in there too. So I used to sell handmade cards, but no one would buy them. My items were high quality and took a lot of time to make. But when people can buy a card from the dollar store for $1, oh yeah, Sarah, yes, it is. That's a really hard one. And I kind of feel that way sometimes with my jewelry too, because really you could go to Target and buy, a necklace. It doesn't say the same thing exactly, but a necklace for way cheaper. And, it's easier for people because it's there right away. But, we have to find I think we have to find our market of people who really want that handmade stuff. And there is a market for that. Obviously Etsy exists, but it is a battle for sure to fight the dollar store and Walmart and those big box stores. But as far as the community goes, I think that it is so important to be able to bounce ideas off of one another. And that's actually what I hope to build for in this kind of arena as well. Having another community where we can bounce ideas off of each other. Each one of us has different experiences and can probably help somebody else. So important, join a community. Oh, and I wanted to tell you another person I'm a Patreon of is, her name is OK Doodle, and she's another sticker shop illustrator who you can also go on there and hers is a lot about like mental well-being and mental health and emotional health. And so I like to be on that Discord because there's a lot of small business people who are also dealing with trying to stay emotionally and mentally healthy. So find a community. Hopefully that's what this is for you guys as well, is that community. And my very last tip for starting out is just know it takes grit. Now there's a book called Grit that I listened to over Christmas, and it's all about endurance, perseverance, knowing that you're going to keep going no matter what. And that's really what a small business takes, is because it's not easy at all. Dana says, yes, there will always be my people who want to buy luxury items and people who want to buy discount items. Yeah, that's so true. She likes to remind herself that it helps make the world go round. Yeah. Oh, Carrie Ann has the book Grit. Yeah. Oh, it's such a good book. And it really pulled out a lot of my past quitter aspect. I have started so many projects and quit them, but after reading that book, I was like, nope, I'm doing this. I'm not quitting. And that's part of the reason that I started this YouTube channel, because I really fully committed and said to myself, nope, I'm not giving this up. I'm not going to give up. And no matter what, difficulties or trials come my way, I have made the decision to keep going. And I think for a small business, that's a very important thing. Now, that's not to say you can't make the decision to stop a business because it's sucking you dry of money. Of course, you got to evaluate that and make that decision with, with all the information that you have and your loved ones. And there is always a time for something to end. There is a season for everything. But it really does take grit to keep going on a small business, because it's tough. It's a tough one. Okay, so those are all my tips for starting out your business. I know they were kind of more emotional and supportive, but that's kind of where I come from. I'm not a business expert or an Etsy expert by any means, so I never like to try to give that kind of advice because I'm not an expert. I'm still learning. My next question is from Dana. Dana was talking about, she has, do you update your photos from your product listings as your style evolved or branding shifted a bit? Or do you think that would be a waste of time to go back and change older product listings? She says, I keep reminding myself that I shouldn't allow myself to be paralyzed by perfection, because I can always update photos in the future. So yes, Dana, yes, my style has definitely evolved over the years that I have had my Etsy shop up, and I would definitely go back and update my pictures. I think that it's important, especially I have changed my branding a few times and I've had to go back and edit all my pictures. It can be difficult if you have a lot of listings up. I have 217, which oddly enough isn't that many. It's kind of middle of the road. There are shops that have thousands of listings, but it has definitely made a difference for me to go back and be able to change those branding pictures. But you know what you can do if you have a lot of listings? Start with the ones that are your best sellers or that have sold over and over. Update those ones first, and then you can just work your way down the list. It can be really daunting, but it is possible. It doesn't have to be done overnight. You can change it as you go. But I do think it's important to update your branding as you go along. And I don't think anybody will be oh, she said, I don't know what that is. Is that in regard to 217 listings, Dana? Cracking me up. But yeah, I definitely think it's not a waste of time. Improving your photos is always going to help. And I was listening to, do you guys know the book is it How to Be a Badass or You Are a Badass? I can't remember, by Jen Cicero. I was listening to that this morning, trying to get my courage up for my live today. And one of the things she says is you just got to do it. You just got to do it. Sometimes that paralyzed by perfection can really hold us back because we are worried it's not as good as somebody else's. But sometimes you just got to click that do it button and say, okay, it's not perfect, but I'm going to get it up there, and then I'm going to work on improving it as I can. Sarah Ann says, you also don't have to go back and update them all at once. Yes, that's so true. But instead, when you have a new order, take a new photo of that order and then update those photos. So true. Good job. Good advice, Sarah. Yes, totally. Yeah. So, and I think that we need to remember it's progress, not perfection. Getting it up there and getting those listings up there is the first step. My beginning photos were, they were very bad. I was going to say that they were trash, but they weren't. They served a purpose and they did a job. But I've definitely evolved and gotten better. And so I update those pictures as much as I get every time I get better. And it's definitely not a waste of time. Okay. So now I'm going to move on to, those were questions that I was directly asked. I'm going to move on to some frequently asked questions as far as in my comments that I get asked all the time. So I don't know if it's something that you guys are interested in or not. And if you're not, it's okay. Because I know not all of you have jewelry businesses, but you know what? If you guys are on here, let me know in the comments what businesses you are running. I know Carrie Ann has jewelry. She just launched her earring line, which is amazing. Dana, it runs a debt-free channel. Dana, can you provide a better description? I'm fumbling over my words for that. But let me know in the comments what kind of business you guys are running. Maybe it is something other than jewelry. I think that we all are having something different going on. So, but these are going to be a few jewelry questions real quick. One of my commonly asked questions is, what is my jewelry made out of? My silver necklaces are sterling silver. The charms are not always sterling silver. Most times they're silver or platinum plated. And my gold chains, this chain right here that I have on, is 14 karat gold plated. They have both been tested out the wazoo and standards. Even they're not gold filled, but they are high quality and they will last. They're not meant to go in water. So that's never a good idea. And I always put a disclaimer on here saying, yes, that is not what they're meant to do. They're not meant to go into water, but I'm really upfront and with packaging that says, don't wear your jewelry in water. But they're good quality. So that's where they are. And I will put my links in the description below if you guys want to order from any of these places that I order my supplies from. All the links will be in the description. Let me just take a sip. Where are my pendants and charms from? Most of my charms are from AliExpress or a website called xyzbeads.com. Oh, yes, Dana says she's personal finance. There we go. Cool. xyzbeads.com. It is super simple. I'll leave them in the description below. Okay, so somebody else had asked, how do you prevent jewelry from tarnishing? Unfortunately, all plated jewelry will tarnish at some point. It is not meant to get wet or anything like that or be in contact with lotion. So really can't prevent it ultimately. However, I put a disclaimer on all of my packaging that says, here are the instructions for your longest lasting wear out of this jewelry. And also we have these nice little anti-tarnish strips that you can put in the packaging. They look like this. I've ordered them on Amazon and I will put them in the link description that help them from tarnishing in the packaging because chemicals and, Dave Ramsey follower at Dana Craig. I think she is a Dave Ramsey follower. But the chemicals from your paper or your cards can have an effect on that. So putting those anti-tarnish strips in there, especially with the sterling silver, helps a lot. Where do I get my polka dot ribbon? This ribbon right here is what I get asked a lot. Elastic by the yard. And I will leave that link in the description. Where do I get my pink pouches? AliExpress. And I will leave the shop supplier in the description as well. How do I keep track of my jewelry orders? I use a jewelry order fulfillment form that I created. I will leave a link in the description. I put it up on a whole new small business Etsy shop that you can download it and customize it to any of your needs. So you could customize it for any kind of small business that you have when fulfilling orders. It helps me keep track of things, especially when it gets busy. And my last question I get asked frequently is, how do I find customers? Now, I think that the best answer for a small business, social media. I am not great at social media. Is anybody else like a social media whiz? Please let me know below in the comments, because I'm not a social media whiz. I am really old school in my line of thinking, and Instagram is still new to me and I'm still figuring it out. And same with YouTube and all the technology. But with that said, it is a great way to find people, that your target market, your audience, for whatever small business you're running. It is the places that I go to find my audience, and YouTube is one of the biggest ones. It is. I don't know if you guys know this, but YouTube is owned by Google. Google. I mean, if you search for something, you're going to get a video pop up that is going to tell you about that thing. And that's because YouTube is owned by Google. And that was the best piece of advice that I've ever come across when looking up for how to drive traffic to my Etsy shop or whatever it is start a YouTube channel. I know it's scary and you might not be ready, but that's okay. All you got to do is try and start, and you will improve slowly. When I first started my YouTube channel, believe it or not, I had literally I think it was 2 days before I did my first recording. I had had surgery. I had 2 days before I had surgery. I had committed myself that I was going to do it. I was not feeling great and I didn't know how to do it, but you just got to start somewhere and you keep improving. Progress is what's important. One little step, one little step. And YouTube drives traffic. It has increased my Etsy traffic exponentially. It's nuts and it's amazing. And even, oh, see, yes, I found you on YouTube. I really want to start studio vlogs and jewelry videos, but I think I should start a separate channel. Oh, yeah, you might want to start a separate channel. I have actually paid for a YouTube course, and it was very useful. I got a lot of her information was on her videos, but it definitely went behind the scenes more so, and I learned a lot from that. And I think that would be one of my courses. A piece of advice is, Carrie Ann, your channel right now is about something different. So it might be beneficial to you to start another channel and really make that only for studio vlogs and jewelry. I mean, I think that'd be awesome, especially because your jewelry has a very cool process because you do painting in your jewelry. So that would be super fun to watch. And I would think that starting a second channel would be the way to go for that, because you want to keep it with the same theme. I even think sometimes when you have a different theme on your channel, it can confuse the YouTube algorithm. With all that said, I'm also not a YouTube expert. I'm literally just starting. So, oh gosh. Okay. So I did want to give you guys one more thing. I haven't been asked about SEO yet, but this plays into how do you find customers. Search engine optimization. Did I say optimization? Okay, I said it right. I think. Is important in getting traffic to your Etsy business via Etsy, because it's how people search for your stuff. So I think it's really important to know this. Now, I am not an SEO expert, so please do not ask me. I have no idea. I barely can figure it out for myself. But there's a gal named Cara Bunton on YouTube. She is a super no BS, excuse me for the language, but she's no BS. She is very straightforward and she is awesome. And you can either find her Sarah Bunton or Cara Bunton or A Cake to Remember. But I'll link her in the description after this as well, so you can find her. But she has great actual Etsy SEO and behind the scenes of how to run your Etsy shop kind of stuff. Very informational. She also has a course, and her course is more affordable than anyone else's that I've seen out there. So check that out if you want. That's it. That's all for my questions. So I have enjoyed this time so much with you guys. I'm so thankful that you all joined and came to say hi. I'm going to ask my husband, is there anything in the background I need to be aware of that I didn't catch? Oh, he told me I caught it all. Yay. I'm going to show you guys him. It's a glimpse. Are you ready? Husband, say hi. Oh, hi. He was in the background helping me catch questions if I missed them. So thank you, Carrie Ann. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys all for being here. And I appreciate it so much. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Okay, I'm going to have to figure out how to end this, but all right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.